And hello, 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 hello. I am trying my new podcast tripod, which I am trying to figure out the best way to sit and how to get it. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Thank you for joining me. I'm trying to figure out this thing and make sure I look at the camera so it doesn't look like I'm crazy and I'm looking off to the side. But tonight is night number 24, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining and asking your followers. Please give me some hearts. I would appreciate it. But we are on day number 24 of 29 Days of Love with yours truly, Dr. Sabrina, the Success Broker. And I am excited about tonight. I'm excited about tonight because just in conversation with my baby brother, he gave me a revelation for tonight. So tonight we're going to talk about tiny bubbles, the tiny bubbles of relationships. Yes, tiny bubbles. So I want to get you thinking about when you were little and when you did bubbles, when you blew bubbles. Remember blowing bubbles? Oh my God, I remember blowing bubbles. I remember buying bubbles for my son. Bubbles were such a fun thing to do. They were light, they were inexpensive. We even made our own bubbles at home. When we ran out of bubbles, we put the dish detergent in there and made our own bubbles. But I want us to think about what happens to those bubbles when they come out and we blow them. You know, tons come out, just like these hearts are popping up, tons come out. And so he said something to me so profound. So I want to talk about the 4 different types of relationships that happen in giving the example of bubbles. So the first thing that can happen in a relationship is that the bubbles come out and they come out real fast, and one bubble gets to flying towards another bubble, and when they meet, they explode. They knock each other out. And so that's the kind of relationship that you don't belong together. You destroy each other. You are mean to each other. You don't uplift. You don't unite. You just go in on each other. And think about when those bubbles are rushing together, and then they dissolve and they're gone. So that's the first type, is that destructive type of relationship. And many of you are in those. Many of you are in relationships that may not be physically disruptive or destructive, but they can be emotionally, verbally. So really check yourself and look at the relationship and find out, is it healthy? Is it destructive? Is the person meaning me good? Are they tearing me down? Are they controlling? All of those. Are they making my bubble so it dissolves, so it crashes and burns? The second type is that bubble that when they come together, they merge, but one bubble stays small and the other bubble encompasses that bubble. And so they're not partners. One eats the other bubble. They're both intact, but one bubble is now covered and consumed by the second bubble. And that's the type of relationship that is totally, the one person, almost their individuality dies. That person is no longer able to just be themselves. They are totally consumed by the other person. Their identity is all wrapped in the identity of the second person. They do not have themselves. They don't have that freedom that I talked about in true elements of love. I'm kind of lost right up. You're kind of lost right now. Let me tell you, you have 2 types of bubbles so far we're talking about. The 2 types of people that come together and they clash and they dissolve. Or it's a bubble that when they come together, they merge into one bubble, but the one bubble stays little and the other bubble looks like it ate the other bubble. And so in that type of relationship, that's when one person loses themselves and the other person comes out on top. That person is the only identity for that relationship. That other person doesn't have a voice. It doesn't have an opinion. It just follows what the other person is doing. So yes, thank you for getting it, and thank you for letting me slow down and explain it. Then the third type of bubble are those 2 bubbles that when they come out, they come together. And when they come together, it's like they're stuck together, but they're still not together. They look like they're together, and that can be an illusion. Have you ever seen a couple that look like they're a couple, but then when they get home, they really not. They sleeping in different bedrooms. They not consummating their relationship. They look like they're a couple, which can be deceitful, but they're really not. They look to the world like they together, but they're really not. They get home, they don't talk. I know for me, I've gone out and I've seen couples sitting at dinner together and they never talk to each other. They never smile at each other. They never look at each other. They're just handling the business of eating together. But you don't want to be in the type of relationship where it looks like you're a couple, but you ain't a couple. You look like you connected, but you're really not connected. So then comes that fourth type of bubble. And ooh, this is the one you want. Have you ever seen two bubbles that come together, and when they come together, they create just one larger bubble? Oh my goodness. Isn't that what God means when he says two shall become one? And when they become one, both of them, their existence is enlarged. Both of them complement each other so that it's not that they're completing each other, because they both came as one whole bubble, but now as they merge into this couple of a bubble, oh, they're a force to be reckoned with, because you know where two are together, touching and agreeing, and God is in the midst. Oh my goodness. Look at what we can do when we really merge together. We work together, we love each other, we understand each other's love language, we understand what we're working with, so we know how to work it. We know that it's work, so we're willing to put in the work. We understand that opportunities are coming, but they may not benefit the both of us, so we're always taking it back to the table so both of the couple understand if the opportunity is going to work for the team. We take full responsibility for the other person. We're looking out for them. We're making sure they're okay. And then we're building our knowledge. We're making sure that we're learning as that person grows. We're learning about them. They're adjusting and we're adjusting. So that bubble that comes together and creates the bigger bubble, that's what we should be. We don't want to crash and burn. We don't want to consume the other person. We definitely don't want to look like to the world we're together, and we're really not. We want to be that whole bigger bubble. So assess yourself today. Assess your relationship. See what type of bubble are you in. And that's my word for tonight. That's our love talk for tonight with Tiny Bubbles in your relationship. I will be right back here with you tomorrow, day number 25. We're on the countdown. We are getting it in. Invite your friends, your family, because we're going to talk about blending families tomorrow, because you know that there's some statistics that the majority of families that are coming together and forming are blended families. So that can be a hard place to be. So we're going to talk about some tips, tools, and strategies on blending families. What's healthy? What's not healthy? What's appropriate? What's not appropriate? Stay tuned for tomorrow night's 29 Days of Love with yours truly, the Success Broker. Love you, baby.